The Trump administration, apart from wanting to grab Greenland, also through Trump's personal lawyer, a guy named Robert Garson, said he'd been in talks with the State Department about providing sanctuary for Jews fleeing anti-Semitism in the United Kingdom. Mr. Garson, this is Robert Garson, Trump's personal solicitor. He was born in Manchester. He told The Telegraph that the UK is no longer a safe place for Jews. We say a good morning to author and columnist Jake Wallis Simons. How are you, Jakey? That's interesting news, isn't it, from America?
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre, I have to say. I mean, anti-Semitism is bad in the UK, but it's also bad in America. I mean, they've just elected a new mayor of New York who's pretty anti-Semitic in my view. In America, you've got anti-Semitism coming from the far right, who've shot up synagogues in the past few years, as well as from the far left and the Islamists. Here, we only really have the Islamists and the far left to deal with, thank goodness. But look, I mean, overall, I think America probably is a better place for Jews than Britain at the moment, because the government here, you know, we've seen the news just over the weekend that schools are in the grip, it seems, of hard left trade unions, and the teachers seem to be all on the hard left, all voting Green, or most of them, and that where the hard left goes, anti-Semitism sadly follows. And we've seen, you know, in Bristol, that MP unable to go into his local school and give a talk because he was Jewish. We've seen teachers supporting Hamas openly and not being struck off. Time after time, we've seen problems in our schools, and also in the NHS. Every single public institution seems to be in the grip of the left and in the grip of anti-Semitism, and the Americans are right to point it out. It is a real danger, combined with the Islamist threat in this country, as we've seen in Birmingham and elsewhere.
I always, whenever I speak to you, whenever I talk about a subject that's very close to my heart, I want to start by apologising. I always feel like that. Let me ask you a different question today. How do we deal with the scourge that is anti-Semitism? Because I will not, and you know me, people are going to have to face up to the fact that it is rife in this country. And I've said it a million times, any form of racism is heinous and should be acted upon and dealt with. But it seems that in this country we have a blind spot. Is it because of the colour of skin? I don't know. But anti-Semitism is rife. I've got many friends whose lives are not the same. What does the Jewish community... You've told me, oh, we're going to leave Britain. Britain is... This story this morning about another country in the US. How does Britain clean its attitude and its act up, in your mind, Jake?
I think it comes down to looking at the sources of this stuff. I mean, there are many sources, but the two principal ones right now in modern Britain are Islamism, and the Muslim community as a whole, polls have shown, has a much higher chance of being anti-Semitic than the mainstream, and also the far left, the woke, the progressives. Those are the two sources of anti-Semitism right now, and they're also the sources of corrosion of our society as a whole. So those two things have got to be addressed. So in terms of addressing Islamism, of course, hate preachers, extremists, zero tolerance. They've got to be imprisoned, deported, got rid of. The Muslim Brotherhood has to be banned. The IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps from Iran, has to be banned. And we need to be much more serious about deportations and integration of our Muslim communities here in Britain. But the other, in terms of the hard left, they've got to be combated. They have for too long, for too many decades, been free to roll their tanks through our institutions, whether it's the civil service, whether it's universities, whether it's schools.
Let me jump in. Why? Just explain to a non-Jew who doesn't get it. Why is there such... No, not why is there such outrage. Of course there's such outrage when people are vehemently racist against black people or Asian people, whatever it is. But why is there not the same level of horror when Jewish... Is it because the Jewish population went through what it went through and has closed itself in and become successful on the back of that? Is it jealousy? Is it because of what's happening in Israel? Was it before October the 7th? Why such hatred for what I think is an integral part of our country, the Jewish community? I genuinely don't understand it.
I think it could be because anti-Semitism, one of the unique qualities of anti-Semitism is that people who are anti-Semitic say, I'm not anti-Semitic, it's just that the Jews are evil. You know,
based on what? Based on what?
Well, based on the genocide and baby killing in Gaza, based on the fact they've been killing babies since the Middle Ages. They kill babies in Norwich, based on the fact that they control the money markets and the media, based on the fact that they have puppet masters in politics, based on the fact that they rule the world and are bringing us all to a satanic destruction, that they killed Jesus. I mean, those are the reasons in the mind of the anti-Semite that Jews are evil. And they think, well, I'm actually the good guy fighting against this evil. I'm trying to save our country and our grandchildren and our world from this great satanic, what was that teacher? Great satanic evil the world faces, as a local school teacher in Wimbledon put it, and wasn't struck off. I mean, this is how they think. They think they are on the side of the angels fighting against the demon. And the problem is that it's very difficult to combat that, because people who aren't paying a close attention think, okay, well, maybe Israel is evil. Look, we've seen war on TV. Maybe that means they are evil. Maybe you're right. Maybe you've got a point. Maybe it is about imperialism and colonialism. Maybe the Israelis are white supremacists. I mean, maybe they are carrying out apartheid. They use the language of human rights to further demonize Jews and legitimize the fact that they want to diminish, marginalize, and get rid of Jewish interests in our country and around the world. And we fall for it. And as a result, they are teaching our kids in schools. They are teaching our kids at universities. They are running all of our public institutions, or their ideology is infecting all of those. And that's why Britain is in the grip of this stuff. And look, those guys also are hand in hand with the Islamists, who want to actually kill Jews and want to bring us down and enforce a Sharia law over our country. So it's a pernicious threat. The threat that faces the Jews is the same one that faces Britain. They're trying to bring us all down, and we have to get tough by addressing the Islamist threat and addressing the threat from the hard left before it's too late.
Do you think a change of government would see anti-Semitism dealt with in a more aggressive way?
I do. I mean, look at Nigel Farage. He is the only, so far as I can tell, so far as I know, the only major political leader who has pledged to ban the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a jihadi group that is not banned in Britain, that's working throughout our country to radicalise Muslim communities, to pose as representatives of those Muslim communities and to advance Sharia law over our country. Farage is the only politician to have openly pledged to ban that. But the Tories also have in the past tried to combat it. They are also strong against
tried to combat it. Why do I have this argument with so many people? Tried to. We're an island. It's a democracy. You've got a mandate. Pass it through Parliament and ban it. What is the issue? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, the Tories, they got a report about the Muslim Brotherhood in 2015, exposing the fact that it's a jihadi group that works to radicalise Britons in this country. Over the next almost 10 years, they worked through the system of banning it, and they almost came to ban it in 2024 when Rishi Sunak called an early election, and that put the kibosh on it. And of course, Labour aren't going to do anything about it, so it didn't happen. But it does need to happen. It's only one of the things that needs to happen. I mean, up and down the country, in mosques, hate preachers are giving grossly offensive and insightful sermons week after week against Jews and against the mainstream, calling for jihad in some cases. I mean, I've seen videos of them calling for jihad against the unbelievers, not just Jews, but the unbelievers in Birmingham universities. You know, we all know what the policing is like in Birmingham. So this is a structural endemic problem, and we've got to get to grips with it. And you're absolutely right. It requires political leadership, because Labour ain't going to do it.
Mate, listen, really good to have you on. You know, there's always a platform here for you. I think anti-Semitism is a scourge, and as much as we can do, we will keep talking about it. Jake Wallis Simons, thank you very much indeed. What is it, 20 to 10?